As you may know, carrots are a very versatile ingredient, but they're typically used most often in savory dishes for lunches and dinners and things like that. But they can equally be used in sweet dishes as well as breakfast recipes. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be making carrot cake oatmeal today. Lots of these ingredients in front of me are ingredients that you may find in a carrot cake, but they're going to be packed into our cooked breakfast porridge. It's a quick and easy recipe. Tastes great, and it's made in one pot, so there's basically no downside to this recipe. All we have to do is hop over to the stove here and get started. I've brought 3 cups of water to a boil on the stove here, and the first step in our recipe is actually to cook our carrots for a few minutes. So I have about 1 cup of coarsely grated carrots here. I'm going to add that right in. And now we want to let that cook for about 5 minutes or so, just until they're slightly tender. We don't want any crunchy bits in our oatmeal, so it does take a few minutes to do that. If you have grated your carrots a little bit more finely, you can cut that back to about 3 minutes or so. So we're going to let that cook for a few minutes, and then we'll be good to go for the rest of the recipe. My carrots have been cooking here for a few minutes, so they're nice and tender. So now we can basically add the rest of the ingredients, just about. I wasn't lying when I said this recipe was really easy. So we have 1 cup of oats here, and I'm using old-fashioned oats, otherwise known as large flake oats. So I'm going to add those right in. And then I have my flavorings here. So I have some raisins. You can also use dried cranberries. They work great as well. Some spices that you'd typically find in a carrot cake. So we have some cinnamon, some dried ginger, some cloves, and a pinch of kosher salt as well. That enhances the flavor. Then I have some brown sugar to add just a touch of sweetness. You can also use maple syrup if you want. And then just a little bit of vanilla. So I'm going to give this a bit of a stir. And now I want to cook this over medium heat. You want to keep a bit of a simmer going. And you want to cook this until your oats are nice and tender, have absorbed most of the liquid, and it's thickened into your, porridge consistency. So that'll take about 7 or 8 minutes. My porridge has been cooking for about 8 minutes here, and it's thickened up nicely. The only step we have left to do on the stove here now is to add a half a cup of milk. So this is going to give it a nice creamy consistency, and I am just going to cook it down for a couple minutes to make sure that it thickens up just a little bit. Now, if you can't have dairy, there are some very easy substitutes that you could use here. So I would recommend something like coconut milk. I think that would taste great in this recipe. But of course, something like almond milk or soy milk or any of your alternative milks will work great here as well. All that's left to do with our oatmeal now is to add our favorite toppings and dig right in. So my favorite toppings to add are chopped pecans. You can also use walnuts, of course. That's more of the traditional ingredient used in carrot cake. And some shredded coconut as well. So that's always a nice addition. It looks really pretty, tastes great. Some other great additions to add would be some vanilla Greek yogurt would taste great on top, or maybe even some pineapple would taste great as well. So there's lots of different possibilities with this recipe, but it tastes great, easy to make, and it's also reheatable. This made 4 servings today, so you can easily make this, cool it down, refrigerate it, and reheat it for breakfasts if you want to make your mornings that much easier. So I hope you give this one a try at home, and please enjoy.